how's it going? I saw Godzilla King of the Monsters a couple nights ago, and it is a mega monster movie. So I want to make a review for you guys. So this movie has three major battles. You got the big, obvious Godzilla versus Ghidorah. You got Monarch versus the government, and then you have a mom versus a dad. So Dr. Emma Russell has this plan with a bad guy, Jonah Allen, to release 17 monsters from hibernation using this device she created to talk to them, because she believes that by releasing these monsters, they're gonna actually help the planet that we're destroying by basically destroying it again, but somehow creating life, and also hoping that the few humans that survive in bunkers that I assume are only available to like military, because how are civilians gonna get to them, survive so they can repopulate the earth. Solid plan. But there's a major flaw in her plan that she didn't see coming. Ghidorah has a plan of his own. He wants to release all of the monsters at once to take down Godzilla so he can control the earth all by himself. But Monarch will not let that happen because they believe these monsters are like Godzilla and they want to help the planet and not destroy it. So they team up with Emma's ex-husband Mark to find her and her daughter and the device to stop Ghidorah from taking over the planet. Along for the ride is Fishman lover Sally Hawkins, the Verizon dude, funny man Bradley Whitford, and the guy with the best pronunciation of Godzilla,
Godzilla.
Ken Watanabe. They all team up with Godzilla and Mothrah to take down Ghidorah and Rodan while the other monsters just kind of aimlessly wander around and destroy stuff. Millie Bobby Brown is also there, basically stuck in a custody battle the entire time and just ends up running away. Now that you know basically what the movie's all about, let's dive deeper. So the first American Godzilla was released in 2014. I mean, technically there was another one, but we're not gonna talk about that. Basically, the first one was 2014. And it really didn't do much for me, unfortunately. This one, on the other hand, actually brought me into this series, and I'm kind of hooked. I'm really excited to see the other stuff. But why did this one bring me in and 2014 didn't? There's a lot of issues with the 2014 movie that were addressed in this movie. One of the biggest complaints from the 2014 Godzilla is there wasn't enough action scenes, and Godzilla was only teased. They definitely almost overcompensated in this movie with just nothing but action scenes. I honestly got lost in some of the action because there was just so much of it and there were just so many monsters to keep track of. Another major flaw of the 2014 Godzilla that people have complained about relentlessly is that they spent way too much time on the human characters, which is definitely not an issue in this one because there is like zero human character development. It's just monsters constantly fighting. I mean, it would have been nice to have a little bit of background on some of these, like why did Millie Bobby Brown start out with a British accent and then turn into American? Did she spend some time in England? Like, was that a part of this? I mean, just a little bit more of the humans would have been cool. Not as much as 2014, but just a tad bit more. But the opposite happened for Godzilla in this movie. They actually gave it some time to address his backstory and his personality and feelings and everything, which is actually what drew me into this movie more than 2014 Godzilla. In the 2014 Godzilla, it felt like he was just this monster who happened to be in the right place at the right time to help, and that was it. He didn't really think, I didn't know what was going on in his brain at all. Whereas this one, he had a very meticulous, straight path that he was following. He was tracking all of these monsters and he knew what he had to do. And he had very, very incredible moments with some of the humans. Two of my favorite ones were at the end of Ken Watanabe's character when he basically touched Godzilla in Godzilla's home. And they just had that small moment where Godzilla just stared at him and he stared back. And it was beautiful because then I could see Godzilla actually cares for the humans and the earth. And that was fantastic, and it really helped me like that character so much more. The other one was when they were on the ship and Mark told them to lower their shields and he stared straight at Godzilla. That was an incredible moment as well. And I'm really glad that they put those in this. I'm also glad that they gave that backstory of Godzilla's home and we could see the history of everybody that worshipped him or knew about him in the past, because that really wasn't talked about in detail before. So now I kind of have that backstory because I am very new to this entire franchise, and it was incredibly helpful to understand how he fit in with the humans. The last 2014 complaint that I'm going to highlight right now is that people thought it just took way too long to get to the action. It was slow building. Not a problem in this one. They hit the action so fast. Mothra attacked 10 minutes in, and it just kept going relentlessly. I've been looking at the reviews for this one, and there's actually a lot of people not happy with all the action, which is kind of crazy because, I mean, it's a monster movie. What do you expect? They're gonna fight. Not only that, you can't really build the character development for monsters. They can't speak to us. We don't really know much about them. Aside from Godzilla and Ghidorah, what else are you gonna talk about? So yeah, they're gonna fight. Honestly, my biggest complaint about this movie is the whole mother's arc. Dr. Emma Russell. Why on earth does she bring her daughter willingly into this situation where there are gonna be people killed all around her? She knew it. Once we found that plot twist, it was like, oh, her daughter knew about it all along and was kind of supportive? It's just a really weird situation to put your kid in. Not only that, the whole plot twist, like, it got me. I didn't see it coming, but at the same time, it felt incredibly weird. I don't feel like the payoff was there. And when she dies at the end, I guess it's supposed to be this big redemption, but it's not, because she's kind of a terrible person. I mean, even the super bad guy she teamed up with said it wouldn't be a good idea to release all the monsters at once. One of my favorite characters of this actually is Bradley Whitford. He was just there for every single comedic line, and it was so funny, and the timing was kind of hilarious. Other than that, the stars of the movie are definitely the monsters. One of the best moments in that entire film was definitely when the pilot ejected himself from the plane, and Rodan just immediately ate him, just straight up into his mouth. I didn't see it coming. It was brutal and absolutely hilarious. And it was during that whole dogfight scene between Rodan and all the pilots, which was incredibly cool. The other incredibly brutal moment was when all the military were trying to get off the plane, when they landed in the middle of the city, and Ghidorah just went straight down, electrocuting them as soon as they walked off the plane. I'm like, oh my god, didn't even give him a chance. But I mean, what do we expect? That's Ghidorah. Ghidorah grabbed Godzilla, pulled him all the way into the air, and just dropped him, which was insane. Probably my absolute favorite shots in the entire movie though were whenever they would have two of the monsters about to battle, and it would be a wide shot and you would just see their size, and you could tell that Ghidorah was so much bigger than Godzilla, and then all of a sudden they would just go pow. I think the thing that we were all waiting for in this movie though was an appearance from Kong. I mean, I kept waiting and waiting. They mentioned Skull Island a couple different times, and when they were showing the feeds of all the monsters on the screen, I thought for a second Kong would show up, nothing. And then at the end when they're all lining up in that circle and there's that 360 shot, I thought maybe we'd see a glimpse, nothing. I kept waiting, especially for the end credit scene. I'm like, they have to show something, at least a tiny, tiny taste of the next movie. Nope, no Kong, just none in this movie whatsoever. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen now. Maybe are they gonna do more of a backstory of Ghidorah? Because I'm still a little unclear on what he is. They mentioned he's an alien a couple different times. And at the end of this movie, when they showed his head, we know something is gonna happen. Something else is gonna happen in that next movie, so maybe there'll be a little bit more diving deeper into his story, since we got to get a little bit more about Godzilla in this one. Overall, there were some issues with this movie that I didn't care for, but it did get me interested in the franchise way more than 2014 Godzilla. So those are just some of my thoughts on the brand new Godzilla movie. Let me know if you guys are gonna go see it this weekend in the comment section below. And what are you most excited about seeing in this movie? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so you'll be notified whenever I upload brand new videos. Long live the king. Well, at least until Kong shows up. See you guys in the next one. Bye!